for Carolina Core. When you think of MLS Next Pro teams, a lot of times you think of a lot of roster turnover. Not necessarily the case for Carolina Core this year.
Yeah, you're going to see the consistency and you're going to see the identity showcased tonight. And I think I go back to the unique matchups. These teams aren't overly familiar with each other in terms of the style, the identity. So a lot of problem solving in real time and then identifying what the game is presenting and then adjusting, collaborating, and doing it collectively.
It's going to be a fun night here. One of the 7 matches in the U.S. Open Cup. And the final spots will be decided tonight and tomorrow to wrap things up. You have Carolina out in the white kits, and you have Soda City out in the light blue kits here this evening. Our referee is Joe Surgeon, and we are ready to roll here from Truist Point Stadium in High Point, North Carolina. It's the 2025 U.S. Open Cup from North Carolina. And before kick, with the observation of Ramadan, one player an opportunity to break that fast at this moment. And certainly that has happened the last few days, and all players respective of that moment for the players that are observing Ramadan during this time. But it looks like we're ready to go here. Everybody all settled in here on this evening. Looks a little windy across the pitch, but it is a great sight for action here in the U.S. Open Cup. This will be the 5th match to kick off here this evening, and Carolina Core will start things off with possession. This match is underway. It's Carolina Core and Soda City, separated by 170 miles between the Carolina. Chica. 2 defenders swarm and take it away. These moments will be important for Soda City, and just as I say that, they give possession away. Excellent maneuver, Canetti through the middle. Dodges another defender and eventually coming over to save it. A body is taken out. It's a penalty and a chance for Carolina Core to strike first.
An explosive play by Canetti. He gets this ball on his feet. Explodes past a couple defenders. Obviously a bit fortunate with this last.
Rodriguez, the 20-year-old from Honduras. And 2 game winners last year in the Open Cup. Belts this ball into the corner pocket. Carolina Core have the opener in the 18th minute, leading 1-0.
Rodriguez earns the penalty and buries the penalty. Carolina Core a bit more methodical and on the ball, the way that they get into shape and utilize every area of the field. But when you talk to coaches, and especially when you're looking for these cup sets, they all say the same thing, because obviously the preparation is so different. But talk about that you have to make the team feel a threat. They have to feel some sort of pressure. And again, I'm just going back to the scoreline that we were just talking about. If you keep it at 1-0 compared to if you concede late, you go into the break and you still have that bit of concern in the back of your mind going into the second half. You're not free and clear. You're not just open.
Evans strikes this ball. Oh, it's a dazzling save from Cotton. Like this one to keep you in things.
Yeah, Canetti on the ball. Drops this ball back. This top hand save.
Recycles. Soda City capture. Boy, how about the 24-year-old Jacob Cotton with a save to rescue the moment here in the opening 40 minutes. Pummels this ball in. Takes one little skip, now comes back over. And it was Canetti making the run. That was quite a little design play from the training ground, and it nearly paid off.
Yeah, quite clever. Laces this ball. Nice set, and it just looks like Canetti just does not connect like he would have liked. And again, right there, and I know it's subtle, but good from Soda City because you could see what Canetti wanted to do. He wanted to shape that ball into that far side netting. But once you see all those bodies take away that angle and take away that space, you can that's no longer an option. You saw he had to push that ball near post and did not make the contact he was looking for.
Duels in the middle of the field.
What does it look like going into the 60th minute? What do both these teams look like? What do the changes look like? But for Soda City, they've done a good job of blending in some dangerous moments. They talked about that final action.
Soda City looks for a response here as the second half kicks off between Soda City from the UPSL, the spring and fall champions, to deciding whether or not they're ready for the next step in the next phase in their career. Are they ready to help the first team win games? Can they come on as subs? Can they come on as starters and win matches? And that's what moments like these here tonight, consequential games, are very decisive for the future of a lot of these players.
Yeah, because you see it across all the leagues and with player attributes. There can be players, and you look at stats, you look at passing efficiencies, passing accuracy, and a lot of those numbers guide storylines. But to your point, how do you loudly influence the match itself, the result? Whatever that result may be for your team in the final third, middle third. Soda City preps for this free kick.
Salif hits this ball low, and Tess Pannenberg. Ralph Salifu. And in the end, if you're Soda City, if you're going to get chances anywhere around the box, you might as well see what Andrew Pannenberg's up to back there. But quite the resume for Pannenberg. Grew up in Charlotte, played at Wake Forest, and then has stops as well with Colorado Springs Switchbacks, Houston Dynamo 2, and now Carolina. That officially the first shot on target in this match. Soda City looking to break through here, and might have had a little bit of space there if that ball didn't have the velocity on it.
You can already tell here in the first 5 minutes that Soda City is playing with more risk. They are playing with the ability to close down collectively. They're doing it as a unit, and they're winning the battle of distances defensively. They're getting good support. But then even on the ball, you could see how positive they're looking to be. Even if the ball is turned over, they're still trying to play in some of those tight seams going forward, trying to create. Could spell a possession here.
Here's a shot attempt. Pannenberg bobbles, and Martin was standing on the doorstep, and he's fortunate that that ball didn't squirt too far away.
Starts with a good penetrating ball, the ability to turn around, and it was quick to retreat for Carolina Core. Soda City turns, and they're able to go on goal, and as you mentioned, Hindenburg, just a little bit of a bobble.
Evans lays this off along the run. Juarez. He goes down inside of the 18. No whistle this time from Joe Sergat. Well, a couple alarms firing off right now if you're...
Needs to get off of the foot a little quicker, but that one probably needed just a touch into space. Soda City was already set defensively to deal with that service. Nobody was moving. So that's something sometimes where if Leonardi takes a deeper touch, you bring somebody out, you vacate some other space.
Bindu wheels it around. Carolina looking for a second to gain some separation with a 1-0 edge in tow. Flores is the target. Chica corrals, and Flores' pressure nearly forces a giveaway. Leonardi keeps it in. Excellent run here. It's Canetti off to the races. Canetti has Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the doorstep, shovels it into the net. Carolina Core, beautiful transition, goes ahead 2-0.
And this connection between Canetti and Rodriguez has been on full display tonight. Canetti involved in the earning of the penalty in the first half. And Carolina Core just scanning. He's always aware of what spaces are becoming available.
Carolina looking for more now. First time ball across, Rodriguez blasts this high. Had his sights set on a hat trick. Too much on this one though.
Now Carolina Core just splitting Soda City defensively. And almost a mirror image of the ball that Canetti played from this right side, played on the left side.
Well, teams around the U.S. Open Cup starting to get a little bit of separation. Tormenta have surged out in front of Harbor City, 3-0. Goals from Niall Reed, Stephen, in the span of 5 minutes have Tormenta out in front by 3 goals. And after Duluth had tied it up, Ford Madison gets goals from Monjoma and Galindrez in the span of 13 minutes to lead now 3-1. New York Freedoms, Pencyprian Freedoms. This is a delightful ball from Juarez. Tries to roll it over. Evans collects, lays it back. Mamadou Say is coming off the field as his shift comes to an end, and Lamar Thompson, the 33-year-old forward, comes on. He's the eldest player on this roster for Soda City. Evans corrals, Evans flies, but the card up, or the flag up rather, for offside. As you mentioned, Soda City needing to get something together. They had a pretty strong opening 10 minutes of the second half. Just haven't quite been able to replicate that for long enough periods. And Carolina, 10 shots in this game. They've scored on a couple, and Joshua Rodriguez has scored twice, his first professional brace.
Yeah, that energy and aggressiveness that we saw in that first 10 minutes or so is Lamar Thompson's having some sort of discussion with center official. It's like he and Rodriguez had a coming together before this free kick. Yeah, you've just seen that energy and that aggressiveness fizzle out. And you know it in every match. You're gonna have the ebbs and flows. You're gonna have that momentum. It's momentum is a real thing, and when you can capture it, it's about converting and executing. And when you relinquish it, it's how quickly can you get it back.
Juarez races to the touchline, brings it in. Rodriguez taps it behind. Flawless execution. He returns the favor as Canetti torches the threads. Beautiful football in action here in North Carolina, and the Core lead 3-0.
And going back to where they were having a lot of success in the first 45 was driving at this end line, pushing Soda City all the way back into their area. And again, Rodriguez, you can see him drive.
And 8 total goals in that stretch, including a run of 3 straight braces. And it's the majestic build-ups right now from Carolina that I think if you're Soda City, frustration certainly and the inability to score, but you're giving up goals that are well earned by your opponent. Canetti getting yanked around. He draws the foul. And a set piece coming up here with less than 20 minutes to play.
And that's the goal from Canetti. You almost felt like it was coming from Canetti. I mean, just the turn and the break that he had for the Rodriguez goal, the drive that he had that eventually earned the penalty. Obviously, Rodriguez earned the penalty, but Canetti acquiring all that attention from Soda City, and then that ball falling to Rodriguez in the box, and now drawing this free kick.
Here comes a dangerous area. Evans hit one on the other end of the field from this side that Cotton saved. Jacob Evans launches this in. Oh, that is brilliant. 3 highlight level second half goals for Carolina Core, capped here by Jacob Evans with a breathtaking strike. 4-0 Carolina.
They have had a breakout second half. Stack.
That ball chested to the surface and ultimately cleared away. So one final change for Carolina. R.E.A. Miller, 19-year-old who grew up right here in High Point, North Carolina, replaces Alenga Charles in the 79th minute.
Substitution for Carolina Core FC. Entering the match is number 99, R.E.A. Miller. Leaving the match, number 12, Alenga Charles. That's number 99, R.E.A. Miller. For number 12, Alenga Charles.
Here's this attempt from long distance. It's over Pannenberg, and it flies into the net. Soda City do have a goal and pull within 3. How about that strike from Lamar Thompson? Long ball over the top of everybody. Scarlett played with Columbus Crew too for a couple seasons, now with Carolina Core. Miller wins the corner. On the closing seconds of the first extra time session, Charlotte Independents have leapt in front of Long Island Rough Riders. Christian Cheney in the 104th minute have put them out in front of Long Island.
We have a Carolina Core corner kick.
USL League 1 Charlotte Independents against USL League 2 Long Island. This ball rotates across. It's over the head of one, and it's nodded straight into the surface by Juan Pablo Rodriguez. They're still scoreless as well between FC Cincinnati 2, who was the #1 team in the regular season in the East last year, and New York Pancyprian Freedoms. It's 16-6 for the Queen City in shots. Flores slams the brakes on, gets to that left foot, clips it across. There's empty space there, and it's headed down and headed in. Rauf Salifu makes it a 2-goal game with 7 minutes to go.
And have put Carolina Core all out of sorts. I mean, and it's again, a ball played into space. Flores driving at this end line, but the patience that he...
Thompson taps that ball away. Across the park it goes, on the hop. I think the wind took that one, but there's the final whistle. Carolina Core outlast a valiant Soda City effort.